Hi, and welcome to the Light Talk. This is a weekly program from Bliss, Oasis Ministries. I'm your host, Patrick Ngugi, accompanied by my co-host, Wanjiru Mure. Karibu, Wanjiru.
Asante sana.
Karibu. And it's interesting. It's raining in this part of Nairobi. In Kabete, it's raining. I don't know where the rain comes from. I think the rain is escorting September. And then the sun is also raining where you are, Wanjiru.
Yes, it's raining. Unajua there is what we are having we're having what is called the blue moon. See,
Blue moon.
yes.
Okay. It's first time I'm hearing it. I know about yellow moon and Monday blues, but blue moon.
There is normally the saying that there is normally this saying that people like saying uh once in a blue moon.
Oh yeah. I know about that one. So rain has
So
come in September.
literally we're having the blue moon to
Oh yeah,
it
about
was the moon yesterday was a full moon, but it's a full blue moon. No, it is
ah,
not blue in color,
yeah.
but it's
That's
it's not blue
interesting.
in color. But when the moon appears twice in 1 month, it happens like once in a while, once in
Blue.
3 or 2 years. So it's called once the
So
blue
that's why
moon appears.
that's why it's called blue moon. When it appears
Yeah,
twice
that's
in a
why
year,
it's called yeah.
full moon twice in a month. That's
Yes,
interesting.
it only happens once in 2 or 3 years. So it's
I
called
think,
the blue moon.
yeah, I think one of these days in Light Talk, we are going to talk about the moon because you also know
Yes.
about lunatics.
Yeah,
Lun-
yes.
They're
Lunatics. Why are they
anyway.
You know the moon affects the mad people, quote unquote.
Mad. I'm glad you put
Yes,
quotes.
yes.
So thank you. Let's go back to the topic. So welcome again to Light Talk. And this is a series where we delve into various matters about life and we look at them spiritually, but more metaphysically. Metaphysical, the science of metaphysical. Because everything that we see, everything that is tangible, it's got its origin in the spiritual realm, and the spiritual realm is beyond matter, beyond physical. It's called metaphysical. So welcome back, and this is a of second season rather of Light Talk. We had the first one last year. We talked about the forgotten laws, and this year when we come with the second season, we are looking at various topics. Other interest topics are on the way, and today we've had a series of talks on prayer, about prayer. We started with prayer in general, what's prayer all about, and discussed it. Then we went to discussion about the Lord's Prayer. And we had a long discussion about that, wondering whether the Lord's Prayer is still the original prayer that was given by the Lord, as we call him, Jesus Christ. And then after that, last week, we had an analysis of the Lord's Prayer. Now, why do we pray? We pray because we want something to happen in our lives, some improvement in our lives. We petition, whoever we petition. In court, the lawyers petition a judge. In life, in churches, religion, and so on, we petition God. We pray. Some of us actually ni kuomba tunaomba kwa nguvu. We beg. But there are so many other forms of prayer. And today we want to look at the question, why are some prayers answered? And why are others not answered? But then I can qualify that question and say, are prayers really not answered? Or rather, are there any prayers that are not answered? Before we delve into it, welcome again. And maybe a few people have been praying for the rain to come this time, and it has come in a blue moon. What do you say, Wanjiru?
I say they should prepare for El Nino. You know, I was wondering, how
Yeah.
does the meteorological department, meteorological,
Yeah.
yo, unajua mimi ni Mkikuyu sasa, naweza meza ulimi hapa niking'ang'ana na vitu.
So
How do they know? What do they use to tell the weather in the future?
okay, that's an interesting topic, and sometimes they have
What?
it right, sometimes they have it right, sometimes they don't have it right, sometimes they get it wrong. And there was a joke somewhere that when you see a guy carrying an umbrella, when the sun is, when there's no rain, he must be a weatherman because he had read different signs.
So how do they know?
I'm sure there are patterns. I think they have stuff. So they have their patterns. Secondly, there is also they have tools, scientific tools, which they can predict, satellites and other stuff, which they can predict in advance. And if situations remain the same, then that area could have an El Nino, or could have, what is the opposite of El Nino? La Nina, when it's so dry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe one of these days we should invite one of them to this platform for them to explain. But they do. It's scientific.
You don't think they use something like astrology to determine what the weather will be like, or you don't think they're rainmakers? Like vile watu you don't think they are seers, people who see the future and they can tell?
Who is a seer?
A seer.
Guys from meteorological department are seers because there are people who see in advance. They are seers.
No, they don't need to use the tools. They don't need to use the tools. They just need to dream.
They use the tools to make them see, so they are seers.
I'm just thinking.
If I gave you the same tools, you will not be able to see. Anyway, the thing
no,
is,
if it is tools, I should be able to see. But if I come with a God-given talent, I don't need a tool to see the future.
There you are, God-given talent. They also have the talent and the know-how. But it's scientific. I think they look at the patterns all over the world, because one part of the world would affect another. For example, when you have La Nina in one place, you have El Nino in the other place. But they know how to, they're trained and they know how to do it. These are science that have grown over the years.
How did they know? Like now they are saying El Nino is going to start sometimes in October. So how do they know it will not start in September?
Yeah,
have they traveled in the futures?
and who says it would? And when you listen to them again, they're usually not very 100% specific.
But they're not 100%. But then have they traveled in the future?
They do travel. I think we can have a discussion on that later. Another time. I hope your prayers will be answered, and therefore your question will be answered.
I hope so.
Yeah, so we've been discussing this topic about prayer, and maybe, I don't know what you think about prayers being answered and not being answered. What is your take so far? Let me give you this scenario. Two teams in a football stadium, they are playing against each other. Before the whistle goes for them to start, one team on the left will go at a corner and pray. The other team will go at the other corner and pray. Both praying, we believe, same God. They never always go draw. Even if they go draw, their prayers have not been answered because they wanted to. So, can you explain what do you think? How would you explain that?
One God is weaker than the other.
But yeah, we are praying the same God. We believe we are praying the same God. I think God.
How do we say? Okay, maybe both prayers are answered.
Why? How come the others are not answered and these other ones are answered?
How can you say the prayer is not answered? Which one is not answered? The winner, the loser.
They were both praying to win. Each side was praying to win.
And then one
But
side loses, and then
we have
the other
one.
one.
We are supposed to have one winner. So one team wins. Let's say your team wins, mine lose. What happened to my prayers? Were they not answered?
Because your prayer was answered as no. You're not winning today. Today you're the loser.
Yes, there you are.
You
There you
cannot
are.
win all the time. The answer is no. You can't win all the time. Today you're losing.
There you are, Wanjiru. There you are, Wanjiru. Because people say my prayers have not been answered. But then maybe they've been answered, and the answer was no.
Mm-hmm.
You get it?
Yeah, people don't like no. Do you know people do not like the answer no? People don't like no.
So it's not an answer. When it comes, it's not an answer.
No, it's an answer. No, actually, it's a complete sentence. But people feel no is like rejection. People don't like being rejected. So
Yes.
so when the answer is no, they feel the rejection, then they say their prayer is not answered. So
Because
they keep asking for the same thing because they were looking for a yes, because they know is not satisfactory.
Yeah, because they are looking for a particular answer which didn't come.
Yes, they're praying with expectations or conditions. They're praying with conditions that I have to get
this way. And sometimes they forget. Sometimes they forget that the no answer for them at that particular time would be the best answer.
Yeah. Yes.
Because if they got what they were praying for, maybe it's the wrong time, and they got it, it could ruin them.
Okay. Yeah. True.
But particularly maybe if they were not ready for it, ready is and knowing how to use it and so on. Yeah. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
It's quite difficult to accept no as an answer. So I understand why people say their prayer is not answered, because some scenarios you desperately need a yes. Let's say for the sick, for example. Someone is sick, they are health-wise, they are drained, and then you keep praying for good health, and the answer is no, constantly no. That one may say the answer is the prayer is not answered, so you're told to pray again. Pray. So you see, I think some scenarios are difficult to accept no as an answer, and that is why people say the prayer is not answered.
Okay. Yeah, I'd agree with you, particularly on that area when you say somebody you're praying maybe for a loved one, or even yourself, or a loved one who had been unwell for so long and they're not getting healed, and they suffer for a long time. But then again, after praying so long, and as we asked earlier, how do you know the prayer was not answered? And
when you don't get the results that you're expecting.
Yeah, sure. And again, God allows things to happen because they're supposed to happen that way. Yes. And maybe and when you pray for it to be otherwise, won't you be going against the will of God? Last week we talked about, I don't think this is when you are away, when we went through the analysis of the Lord's Prayer, and we said, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. And this will of God we saw is the law of God. And the law is the natural laws and so on and so forth. It's much deeper. But then, is it because God is there and allowing things to happen as they do? So maybe now this is a deeper knowledge for some people, but we know the law of karma exists. And going by the law of karma, this particular person who is so unwell, who is so sick, had to come to this reincarnation to pay that karma of being unwell. You get it? No matter how hard you may pray, the prayer will be answered, but not maybe the way you were expecting. You get it?
See, when you say things, I do, of course I do. But now, for the sake of the people who don't, when you say that things are supposed, who signed up for suffering? Who signed up for bad health, or for things like disability? Is there anyone who signed up for that? It's difficult. Who signed up for diseases that are long term? You see, you're telling someone to live with it comfortably. How? No one wants to live suffering.
We are not saying they should be comfortable. They came to feel the way they are feeling. It's like this. For those who understand the law of karma, we come here to clear our debts. And when we are there before we come here, we are in agreement. I'm going there to do this and this and this. But when you arrive here, you have what you call amnesia. The veil is closed, because if you remember, then you will not be paying. If you remember, you'll not be suffering. I mean, you have to feel it. But if you remember, you have to sinile nalipia to watch a pita, and so on. But you have to feel it. So there's a veil that comes across. Yeah, that's why you don't remember. You don't remember those. I think in future episode we are going to do about the soul contracts and stuff. But that's when you live through it. And again, I think I shared, if not with you, with somebody else. Sometimes when you find somebody in total suffering or total, a lot of problem. Sometimes when you help them, you're not doing them a favor, because they're supposed to live through that and experience it. Because if you help them too much, when they come back, they'll go through the same debt payment. Hawatakuwa amesema ile Father forgive our debts.
Yeah, actually, and that comes into another concept called the people pleasing and the narcissistic personalities. So now, when you're saying, when you help someone too much, there's something in psychology we say, when you enable a pattern of behaviors for quite some time, then you're making that person,
and it's not changing.
Yeah, they don't change. Actually, when you keep enabling a pattern of behaviors, it will never change. It will keep on repeating. So utakuwa unasema kila wakati habadiliki because you're the one who is enabling that person. So you're not helping them learn the lesson. And that comes in the question of tough love. And sometimes you have to give people tough love so that they can learn the lesson. Because if you keep bembelezing them, at least bembeleza in English. When you keep, is it begging? What is bembeleza in English?
Bembelezing is like pampering.
Yes, when you keep pampering this person, like let's say you have like a friend or a relative who is an addict, an alcoholic, for example.
Yeah.
So just an example. So they keep selling things to go buy. So they go get in debts, you come and pay that debt. They get in another debt, you come and pay that debt. You're making that habit go on and on and on. At some point, you will have to put on tough. So they don't learn the lesson, like you were saying. They don't learn the lesson. And the prayer that you guys keep praying is, the answer gets answered is a no, until this person either decides, and that is why we get to say the person decides to change by themselves, or you change the enabling, the love language you're giving this person, and you make it tough so that maybe it can be a trigger for them to change. Yeah, something like that.
Yes. And again, there are those parents who, parents of teenagers, for example, or young adults, when their children get in trouble with the police, and maybe they're taken to court or prison, not prison, but police cells, wanaenda wanawatoa. They bribe so that the children can be released, even before going to court. And then the kids get back into the same trouble. They're arrested again. The parents go and rescue them, remove them. They'll never learn. And their
Yeah,
lesson is they need to learn, to be taken through the system, even go to jail. And then they learn their lesson. Otherwise, they always look
you keep
for someone to come and get them out of the problem.
yeah, you keep saving somebody, they will never learn to save themselves.
Yes. Now, let's. You know how time fly. We have like 10 minutes to go, but let me let me go to the real, not real, but the reason, or rather scientific, not metaphysical reasons how or why we believe all prayers are answered. And we saw it when we said you get a no. Sometimes it's not a no that you get. You get the answer to your own doubt. You get it? You have prayed. I need a new car. I need a new house. I need a job. You have prayed. Then, after praying, as we said the other day, you're supposed to release the prayer. Believe you have received. But what do you do? Or what do I do? Immediately I say, amen. I start wondering, will it really come? How is it going to come? Am I going to win a lottery? You start doubting, you start asking. And every thought that you put, it doesn't have to be addressed to, all thoughts are addressed to God. All thoughts are God, because God is everywhere. God is this energy, is everywhere. So every word, every thought you're addressing to God or to this power. So whenever you bring your doubt again, whether it's mental or spoken, you are giving to the same source where you took that prayer. Meaning you are now countering with another prayer of doubt. Yeah, wondering, is it going to end? Wewe nikikutuma mahali, for example, I sent you to a place to go and bring me something. While you are going there, I send somebody else to tell him, labda sasa usikuje, labda usilete. Are you going to go? Are you going to go on? You wouldn't. So we defeat our own prayer. We get a no because the doubts we put by thinking it is difficult, it can't make it, or how is it going to come, then that also gets into the works. And therefore the environment, the environment, the surrounding, the people whom now you start associating with come and confirm to you that you can't get it.
Mm.
You get it? But if you went on believing in faith that I've already prayed and I'm going to get it, then circumstances start organizing themselves. You meet the right people. You are introduced to somebody who gives loan for cars, stuff start happening. But once you put the doubt, now the other people, the other circumstances of saying no comes in. Yeah, and then your prayers are answered that way of not getting, because you are wondering how to get. You get it? And it may come in form of that no, and therefore you don't get. But that doesn't mean your prayer has not been. It's been answered the way you asked.
Yeah.
The last asking, that's what gets fulfilled, or the most powerful one.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, someone might wonder, are there, now that we are talking about prayers like experts, as if we are God's deputy.
God's deputy. I love that one.
Have our prayers, have you, Mr. Ngugi, you and I, let me throw this question to you. Have all your prayers been answered? Are there times when your prayers are, the answer is, are there times you have doubts?
I'm not saying I don't have doubts, because maybe that's why I realized it's my doubts we are also not bringing, whatever. Hi, Waihenya.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's here.
I remember you prayed for a cat and a cat appeared. There you
You
are.
know, I prayed for a cat and the cat appeared. You know
There
that
you
is
are.
the most.
There you
And
are.
I specifically prayed for a white cat. This
There it
is
is.
a male
And you
white cat. This is a
and you
male white cat.
and you found it in the streets near your place as a lost cat, a homeless cat,
No,
which you
seriously,
adopted.
this is an answered prayer.
Yeah, yeah. So another reason, okay, fine. To answer your question, all my prayers have been answered, even the ones of doubt, because I got my doubts, and my doubts. What's the word? My doubt created my answer of not getting what I wanted, because that's what I feared I wouldn't get, and therefore I didn't get. So they were answered. But were they answered the way I wanted them answered? No, but they were answered, as we spoke earlier on. But then looking back, I see a lot of stuff I've desired, I've hoped for, I prayed for. They are here with me. But I also see a lot of stuff I desired, I prayed for. They're not yet here because of doubts I put in place.
Yeah.
You get it? So the prayers are there, they're answered, and the best thing is to believe you have already received. There's this story I read somewhere of this boy who was praying that his father should get money, shouldn't get a lot of money, should not get a lot of money, and they should remain poor. That was his prayer. And the teacher came to realize the child was praying for them to continue being poor.
Oh, who does that?
This boy was doing it. So the teacher, what's wrong? I mean, why would you want to continue being poor? And the answer was, because whenever the father got money, some lump sum or some money, there was no peace in the house. They were always fighting with her. They were always fighting with the mother. The father was always drunk. He was abusing them, and he was cruel. Whenever he had money, lump sum, and so with the boy getting money or being rich was bad, and so he was praying to have money. So why I remember this story is because sometimes God says no, because when God gives you what you want at that particular time, it will ruin you, because maybe you're not ready to receive it. God will give it to you to show you that you are not supposed to get it at that time. And therefore, maybe you would have needed to be prepared to get it. Are you with me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so that you'll find some people, like the example I've just given, this guy who gets a lot of money and is chaotic in the house. There's some people, when they have jobs, yani wakipata job, akukaliki. But when they have no job, ndio wametulia nini, So there's also this aspect of praying and just sitting, waiting for the answer to come.
Okay.
After you pray, believe it has come, and go and meet it halfway. Go work for it. Otherwise, if you just say, tunasemaga we are told, tunasema Mungu anasaidia wale wanaojisaidia. God helps those who will help themselves. So pray.
God helps those who help themselves.
Yeah, so pray, but go and meet your prayer, the answer to your prayer halfway.
Even the story of Washu. You know Washu? You know Washu? You know Washu?
I remember you mentioned that story in the previous. Alienda kwa shamba while there were people were partying in the house at home.
For those who don't know, Washu was a wife who was mistreated by her husband, and then akafukuza akaenda kwa shamba kulima. The other wives of the husband wakicelebrate na nyama. So an eagle came, stole meat from the husband's plate, end up lakini ikachomeka, like got burnt, ikaachilia, and that piece of meat found Washo when she was in the shamba. So you see, if Washo stayed in the house and started lamenting, oh God, please, what is this happening? What is this? No, Washo went out kufanya kazi. Nyama zilimkuta kwa shamba. So
she believed she'll be okay. So she went.
Yeah. I know, okay. Sometimes when we are in dire need, when we are desperate, and I'm speaking from experience, when we are desperate for something, and we are not so sure what, and we also, being human, we like being in control. We think that we are the ones who are in control of everything around us. So when we are desperate for something and we want to control, we want to get that something as fast as possible, whatever we are praying for. It is almost inevitable to have doubts in your head. You will have doubts. You will find yourself wondering, okay, nimeomba kazi, lakini sina degree, so how am I going to get it? So you keep putting, it is very normal as human beings. But a good thing is to catch yourself to realize that, to have the wisdom and the information and the knowledge that when you put doubt in your prayers, you delay. You're giving yourself another answer.
Yeah.
For me, what I do is I try to use past prayer results, and I said, what happened when I prayed about something? It happened. How was I in the waiting period? Was I in doubt? So I try to, I don't know which word to use, but I try to live in that moment, capture that experience in the past and use it now, so that I am able to remove doubts. Ni kama kufananisha wakati huu na something that was successful in the past.
Yes.
Anyway, the most important thing is to have information and knowledge that doubt can actually block your prayers. So when you catch yourself doubting, now that is awareness, and you stop right there. You watch, you get hold of that doubtful thoughts, and then now you're able to remove the doubt and say, no, it's not my work to control. It is whoever is in charge who controls. So catch yourself doubting, be aware, be conscious enough to catch the doubts, so that you accelerate the speed of your prayers.
Yes. Yes, it's true. It's true, because doubt is like a reverse gear to
kama unarudi nyuma. Very good. Reverse gear. I like that. It's
a reverse gear, because you go back to, but the thing is to remember and to catch yourself whenever you start getting doubts, and then you stop what you're thinking and put a positive thought.
Yeah. You replace the doubt with a positive thought.
And you affirm that will happen. You are getting what you are going for. Yeah.
Someone might say it's being delusional. Do you think there is something like, I don't know whether we have time. Do you think there is something like toxic positivity, where you're over positive and you're over affirming even when you should not be affirming?
I think when you is there something like over affirming? I think.
I mean, there are situations you're telling yourself.
The way I would look at it, when you overdo it, when you seem like you're overdoing it, it's because maybe at the back of your mind there's fear that thought will come, that negative thought will come. So you keep hammering. And I think if you did that so much, even when that blessing comes, you may not realize it, because you'll be busy. You'll be busy maybe looking for something bigger or better. But I think it's better than toxic negativity.
I don't know. Toxic, I don't know.
There are people who are so positive that they are infectious. They infect you with their positivity. I think it's a good thing, But then why are you overdoing it? Just be positive and hope for the best. Not hope, believe. Hope is negative. Believe for the best. Believe the
Okay.
best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
quite a topic of.
we've done 35 minutes already, and
Yeah.
we have discussed about prayer and whether they are answered or not. But we've seen they are always answered. But then when you pray, just move your feet and go and meet the answer to your prayers halfway, and
Yeah.
just believe, and also gratitude. Gratitude is also very powerful. Being grateful
Mm.
of what you have and what's coming, because whatever comes is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think with this episode, I think we have covered prayers generally, and
Yeah.
unless maybe somebody brings a question later on, maybe we may be able to answer. But we are going to the next topic, which might be quite interesting. And what are you thinking? Which one should we tackle next week?
Think we can go to soul contract maybe, so that we can now bring in the question of reincarnation, which most people don't like to hear about.
Yeah, so contracts, and also maybe so contracts, and there's another one, and the Akashic records. I think they're all tied up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can be a long one. That I think
Yeah.
the whole topic can take us another 3 or 4 videos
Yeah, true.
sessions. So, viewers, thank you again for being with us. Thank you for coming to this journey with us. And we are through. We have covered prayers. We've seen everything from the beginning to the end. There may be 1 or 2 things, 1 or 2 points. Maybe you may want to agree with us, or you may want to challenge us. You're welcome. Just put a comment below and we'll read it. And if it's something we need to comment or to answer, we are going to do it in future. So this has been a light talk from Bliss Oasis Ministries, which is part of Bliss Oasis Africa. And until we meet next Thursday at 8 o'clock, 8:30, that's 17 hours, 17:30 hours GMT. Every Thursday, 17:30 hours GMT, or 8 o'clock Kenya time. Until then, it's me on behalf of Patrick Ngugi, on behalf of Wanjiru and Waihenya the cat, saying bye until next time. Kwaheri.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.